Hi everyone. I'm working with new graphics again. I'm so excited. How are you today? Welcome to my Facebook page. I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com, and I want to welcome you to another live paper crafting class here on my Facebook page. If you're interacting with me live, I'll be able to respond to your comments and questions. Hopefully, I'm still not very good at paying attention to the comments as they come in, but I will try my best. And if you're watching this later, you might be watching on YouTube or Facebook or on my blog post or something, then just know that it was pre-recorded live and I was interacting with people. Today, I'm excited to share a very fun card that I kind of put together in my mind, and it is, I mean, somebody else may have invented it too, but I'm calling it the Diagonal Tuck Explosion card. Hey, Charlotte and Tammy and Carol, how are you? Look, I read the first 3 comments. I'm so proud of myself. Anyways, I'm playing around with some graphics. I have these little overlays, so let's see if I can pull one up here. Let's see. Ooh, visit me on Facebook. Look at that one. Let's try this one. Oh, look at that. I love this app. Now, if you've been watching the last couple of videos that I've done, I'm playing around with a new app called Switcher Studio, and I've heard that it's for Apple products, but I'm not sure if it goes beyond that. But just know that I use Apple products with it, my iPad, my iPhone, and my laptop, my Mac computer. So it works for me, and it's super fun. Look at that. All right, so I'm going to try to get back to this picture-in-picture thing pretty soon. Hey, Nicole and Don and Julie, how are you guys? And Kim, I'm so glad that you all came to join me live. We are going to do this Diagonal Tuck Explosion card. It's going to be created with some retiring products. So if you like the products, you'll want to make sure that you get your hands on them right away. We have the Color Me Happy stamp set, Painted with Love gold vinyl, or I'm sorry, Painted Love, that's what it's called, Painted Love gold vinyl stickers, and then the Painted with Love designer series paper that has some fun metallic colors in it and stuff. So, metallic gold, I should say. So let's see if I can get to the little picture-in-picture thing, okay? Thanks, Donna. I don't know, I'm still working on it. It's hard to do it as one person, but I'm glad that you're impressed. Thanks. All right, let's move to this one and let's see if I can do the picture-in-picture with it. Oops, I did that wrong. You guys aren't seeing what I'm doing in the background here. So there we go. I did it. All right, here's the card. And this is what it looks like when you open it up. So it's got kind of a little matchbook sort of hold to it. And then you bring this corner out. And as you open it up, watch this. This is so cool. Ah! All right, so kind of holding it too close here. I might have to move hang on a minute. Let's see if I can zoom out a bit. There we go. That way you can see it a little bit better because it's so big when you open it up, right? Okay, so we're gonna make this, and the supplies again that we will need will be the Color Me Happy stamp set. This is leaving, so you'll want to get your hands on that. Some very fun images to color in with our Stampin' Blends markers. And, oh good, I'm glad that you like the colors, Jeannie. It's a fun one. I have another version to show you after this is done too that actually is my favorite. This, after I made the second one, I'm like, well, I should have showed the second one, but this is the one that I actually put in the event photo thing or whatever, so this is the one I wanted to share today. We're also going to be using the Painted with Love designer series paper. Ooh, the gold just makes the lighting go weird, doesn't it? So every one of these papers, and I don't have full sheets of every single one of them, but because I used it up, I loved my paper. But it is really pretty stuff, and it has the gold metallic on one side, and then let's see, because 3 of these are super small. And then on the other side, it's not metallic, but it still has all of those same colors. And so you always have double-sided paper. Well, I shouldn't say always, but most of the time you have double-sided paper with Stampin' Up! Designer paper. So let's move that out of the way. You'll also need to have these stickers, which I mentioned, and they have some fun little designs in them, which I think you can kind of see in here if I scoot that stuff off to the side. Okay, so they coordinate with the products. Hey Linda, glad that you're joining us from Canada. Then you'll need a black pad, and you can either use the Archival Black, which is leaving because we're going to be replacing it with just the Memento Tuxedo Black, which is stain, and then we're also going to bring in the Stays On Jet Black that we used to have, and that'll be great for, oh gosh, so many things. I'm so glad they're bringing Stays On back. But this pretty much does the same thing as this, so we're going to just, you know, get rid of that. But if you have it, you can use it. Any black is fine. And then you'll need paper snips. I use one for ribbon, one for paper. We're going to need just basic adhesive like snail. And then you'll need a stapler. This is an old stapler from Stampin' Up. So we don't have this one in the store anymore, but you can use any stapler, really. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to zoom the little camera in a little bit so you guys can see better. And let's see. Oh, look at that. Did you guys catch that graphic change there? Just in case you want to shop for more products. Okay, so let's start cutting. Oh yeah, and you need your trimmer. Oh, measurements. We got to get to the computer. Hang on. Let's do this. All right. There we go. Let's get these off of there. There's the measurements. Measurements for you. For the Diagonal Tuck Explosion card, the Calypso Coral, we're going to cut this together so that you don't have to worry about, you know, trying to figure out what this says. And then we've got Whisper White, just a little piece of that. We have some Calypso Coral Ombre ribbon. Copy paper is the kind of paper that I used inside my first explosion card. Thank you for sharing. Hey, by the way, you guys, let me stop for just a minute and let you know that if you are sharing or if you are commenting, and I love seeing, I'm not responding to every comment I see, but thank you so much for posting little comments in here. But if you are commenting or you're sharing and you're posting that you've shared, you're going to be entered into the prize drawing at the end. So yeah, keep doing that, you guys. It gets you entered. And plus it's fun to hear what you have to say and see where you're from. And I just love hearing people say hello. I love seeing people coming back. So keep doing that. Painted with Love designer paper. Do you see how this is cut? This is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. It's a square, and so is the copy paper, and the copy paper is twice as large. So keep that in mind, that these two measurements relate to each other really well. And then the other supplies I've already showed you, so let's go back to doing this if we can. Whoops, hang on. I'm getting the picture in picture back here if I can. There we go. All right, so let's cut. Let's go ahead and take our Calypso Coral paper. This is our cardstock, and we're going to cut it in half. If you are new to card making, this is super simple. Every cardstock that's 8.5 by 11 only needs to be cut in half in one direction or in the other direction, and then fold it in half, and you've got a perfect card base. So we're going to make our card base this way. So again, if you fold it in half like that, you have the perfect card base to fit all our medium envelopes. But we're going to make our scores go a little differently. So let's take and set that one aside for now. In one end, you're going to score it at 1.5 inches. Okay, this is our scoring blade. And you know what? On your trimmer, you may want to do the same thing. Let me zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. I put the word score right on that blade so that I remember that this is the one that will score. I don't want to accidentally cut my paper when I want to score. Okay, and then the next measurement will go at 4 1/4 inches. Now this is something to think about. The card width is 4 1/4 inches, so I want this to also be 4 1/4 inches. It's going to make it easier for the card. So let's score on that side 4 1/4, the other way is 1.5. When you fold these up together, they're going to overlap slightly, and you want that. So this is a little bit shorter than the typical size. When you have it in your hands, it's 5 1/4 inches instead of 5.5. But that's okay because we want that overlap. That overlap is going to help with the tucking part. Okay? All right, let's keep the trimmer here. Let's move to our other piece that we're going to that we're going to cut. And we're going to bring our arm of our trimmer out. Gotta love this arm. You know what I forgot to do on my phone, you guys? I hope that you can see pretty well, but it seems like it's not as bright as it typically is, and I'm feeling bad about that. But I can't adjust it now because it's in the stand. Okay, anyway, 7.5 by 7.5. So hopefully you can see good enough. Hopefully. So 7.5 by 7.5. And we're not going to do any folding of this yet, okay? All right, let me get that little thing back up there, because isn't that cool? You know what? I'm so excited about my little graphics. Okay, let's take that one out and look at that one. Fun, huh? One more. Okay, I'm done playing. Here we go. So now let's go ahead and stamp on our pieces. We have our Whisper White, which is 5/8 inches by 2.5. Again, if you're commenting or if you are sharing and mentioning that you're sharing, you are getting entered into the drawing at the end. Oh, I've already got my stamps pulled out. So we have Celebrate, we have a couple of the lanterns, we have this little string, and then we need the So Happy for You. So we actually have to change one of these out just quickly here. Let's change it to this one. Okay, we got a clear mount stamp ready to go. We're going to stamp this on top of our, goes this way, on top of our Whisper White. Hopefully I'll get it straight because I'm not right over the top of my paper. Oh, that's pretty good. All right, yay, I'm happy with that. And then we need to move that out of the way, that stamp. We'll clean that off later, and let's get this puppy back on. Okay. Now we're going to stamp this paper. Now if you remember, the paper opens up like a square. So all we have to do is kind of stamp here and there. Let me grab something. Hang on. I forgot to grab scrap paper. So you guys get to see my dirty scrap paper. I pulled this out earlier for for my demonstrator broadcast to my team, and I was embarrassed about it. There, you're seeing the clean side of it. There we go. Because it was really dirty. Okay, so we're gonna do the little lines. It's just fine. Oh, the lighting's just fine. Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Nancy. Okay, so we're gonna make some little strings for our lanterns to go onto, and they don't have to be symmetrical or perfect. They just kind of have to be up there. In fact, let's do a crazy one going across this way. Ooh, look at that. Double strings. I'm going to cheat because I'm going to peek at the one that I did so I can kind of copy a little bit of it because it was good. Okay, now we're going to take our Celebrate stamp, and we want that to go across the middle. So we're stamping before we're folding, because if you fold first, you can sometimes have image issues with your stamp when you stamp it down. Like it doesn't stamp completely. So I want, let's see, I think we're going to do about 7 of them. So I'm just going to go, oh, look at that, I messed up. If I had the Stamparatus, I could fix that. I should go get my Stamp-A-Majig. I might go grab that, because this card is going to somebody. It's going to one of our winners, and we want to make sure that it looks good, right? Okay, so I think I might go grab that. Here I go, back to my room. Stamp-A-Majig. Oh, here it is. All right, so to do a little fixing here, we can grab this little Stamp-A-Majig tool. We just put, so what I'm doing is I'm putting the, let's move this out of the way for a minute. I'm putting the clear sheet for the Stamp-A-Majig down like this. Is this retiring, you guys? I think this is retiring too. This is such a good tool. Okay, so then you take your block and you put it right in the little corner there, the wedge, and you stamp it down. Now it's okay if it's diagonal, we can make that work. Then we take our paper and we lay it, because we want our Celebrate to show up, don't we? There we go. We lay it over the top of where we wanted to fix our stamp image. Make sure it looks good over the top of it. And then we got to put our little T-square back in place. Ink this up. Move this away. Bring it in. And carefully stamp it down. That's pretty close, especially since I'm not right over the top of it. Yay! Okay. All right, so now we're just going to bring in some lanterns. It's hard to stamp where I'm not going right over the top. I'm trying my best, you guys. All right, let's try this one here. That looks good. Yay. And then we'll have maybe a couple on this side. Like there and up here. So that was the reason for having the grid paper underneath, in case I went off the paper. Now we fold. Okay, so you're going to be folding, and the first fold we're going to do is diagonally this way, and then the second fold will be this way. So let's go ahead and do our diagonal folds, and those bring the images inside the paper. Okay, so you're folding them to the inside. And then you're going to take and open it up and flip it over, and you're going to do this direction both ways, so edge to edge instead of corner to corner. By the way, if you can do this fold, you're going to have success with lots of origami projects, because this is one of the basic starting out folds for a lot of fun origami. I love origami. Oh, it is going. Thanks, Cecilia, for confirming that the Stamp-A-Majig is going. I appreciate that. I'm sad that it's going, but I appreciate you letting me know. Okay, let's clean up our table a bit. Now, these gold vinyl stickers can decorate the little lanterns, but we can do that at a later time. You don't have to worry about doing that right now. In fact, I might not even do that during the broadcast. I'll show you the finished one. But let's go ahead and bring this back in, because we can decorate this up next. So you're going to take this paper, this is our designer paper, and we're going to diagonally cut it. Because it's a square, it can be diagonally cut either direction, okay? So you'll want to put your paper into your trimmer, and this is the channel, this is where the blade goes through, and so you can put it in there so that the corners are going into the channel. You can go either direction. Again, we could flip it this way or this way. All right. And then you hold your paper still, because it's not being held against any support areas of your trimmer. You're going to start your blade in the middle or towards, towards the inside of the card, because you don't want to push it against such a sharp corner. You pull it out, and then you can come back in and slice the rest of the direction. Now you have two different pieces there, and those are going to, oh, we have to do another slice. Those are going to go across the front of the card, but we have to cut this section out here. So you're going to do the same thing where you bring this little intersection or corner and this corner into the channel. You line those up. Hopefully you guys can see, yeah, I think you can see that pretty good. Okay, and then we slice again, and the same thing. Don't start your cut outside and push against such a sharp corner. Start in, pull down, and then go up. Okay, so we've got that set. And then we can add these to the front, and you actually have to put these down before you do the stapling. A little tip, if you put them together, you can do your adhesive. Let's see, make sure you can see that. You can do your adhesive closer to the corners that way. You can see how those corners can go. You can get that right in there. So this is my snail adhesive. There we go. Lots of adhesive on there. This one will just get centered in that space. And this one will match up with it on the opposite side. Oops. I'm going to zoom in a bit. There we go. Okay, this one will get put right here so it's opposite, and it looks like, these edges here are parallel to each other. Okay. All right. Got to keep commenting to get entered for the prizes, you guys. I'm looking at the comments, and it looks like you're just all paying attention, which is great. I want you to pay attention, but please feel free to comment too. Now let's snip this. I'm just going to go in towards the middle, both directions. Now we have a little banner piece. And then this gets stapled upward, and you can tuck it if you want to, but it's just such a small little corner that you really don't have to worry about this, getting caught in there and you not being able to get it out. It's just a tiny little corner. So now we come in with our stapler, and I recommend doing your stapler backwards. If you do it this way, then you have those sharp corners of your staple on the back side of your card. So do it backwards, and making sure you guys can see still. And just put a couple staples in there at about the same, same space there, same spacing. Oh, and before we put the ribbon down, let's stick a gold accent from our sticker sheet. Okay, let's put that on, maybe right about here. Oh, I'm going to go down a little lower. Oh, these are sticky. Don't press down until you're sure you have it in the right space. Okay, there. And then we'll tie our ribbon on. I'm just going to do a knot. And we can always shift it because I don't want it on the right side. So we've got our ribbon. You know what? I'm going to just walk you through this because I know a lot of people hate ribbon. It's easy. Right over left, keeping everything flat. Then take this one. Again, no twists in the ribbon. Take this one and fold it. So you're folding it in half. You're going to pull this one down, and this one's going to pull up, but it's also going to fold in half the opposite direction. And then you tighten it to cinch. Then you just put your finger down there. This takes a little coordination, but you put your finger there to hold it. You bring the bottom one up, take the top one, bring it to the left. So you've got this, and then you're going to take that one that came from the top left, and you're going to fold it and tuck it through that hole, and you're going to pull. And as you pull, you have a ribbon that can pretty much go, you know, in that same direction. It's a ribbon that works. So we like it. And then we can just kind of roll our card this way to move our ribbon where we need it to go. All right, then we can trim. You're concentrating on what I'm doing, huh, Lynn? Well, that's good. All right, and then we'll just take and put a little adhesive on the back of this banner. And we'll stick that down here, like that. And now we're ready to untuck this portion. I'm going to take this off for a minute so you can see a little bit more, and I'm going to zoom out because now we're going to put this bigger piece in here. So this piece is going to come in, and again, you can decorate this at any time, but the stamping has to be done before you fold it. So we're going to fold this up like this so that it's going to sit in this corner. And if you'll notice, this is the way it's going to fit in the card. But a card like this, if you tape down both sides, it will just pull on it. It's not going to work. So we only can tape down one of the sides. And I prefer the upper part here. So I'm going to go ahead and just fold this over, and I'm going to add some adhesive to this back area of the paper. Then I'm going to flip the whole thing over, and I'm going to center it. Well, not too much. Actually, I'm going to bring it close to the edge of that fold there and press it down. And you want to make sure before you press it completely that it will fold over too. Okay, so we've got it folded over, and again, if I were to tape down this one, it would pull. It wouldn't work. Okay, it's wanting to move upward a bit, but you don't want to have it right in that corner, or it's not gonna go all the way down. You guys will know when you play around with it. It's kind of a picky card because it's so bulky in there. But this isn't as bulky as the other card that I'm going to show you. So now to close it, you just kind of bend it here and then tuck that in. And you can decorate that later. Let's show you the finished one again. So on this one, I took and put a few gold vinyl sticker pieces just along the lanterns there. And that's how I decorated that one. And again, just tuck it in like that. The more you work with it, the more you can manipulate it. This should go into a regular you know, an envelope that takes regular postage. It's not very thick with copy paper. But when you use designer paper, now I wouldn't recommend this kind, I wouldn't recommend, hang on, I wouldn't recommend this kind of designer paper because it's very cardstocky, it's very thick. But you can use the thinner, the regular designer paper that's not foil, it's not the specialty kind. Thanks, Lisa. And so when you open this one up, now this is my favorite. This one has designer paper in it. I use the silver edged metallic ribbon, and then of course those wonderful little doodads that are in the occasions catalog that I can't remember what they are. Maybe somebody can tell me in your comments. And then of course the matching stamp set. So this is from one of the suites in the occasions, the spring catalog, and it's one of my favorites, and I can't remember it. Shoot. Anyways, watch this. So it's black and white on the outside with a little touch of green, and then when you open it, I used regular markers. Don't use blends because the blends will go all the way through, but regular markers can give you that look. Is that cool? This is my favorite one. So this was very, I have good memories from this card because it gave me a kind of a break this week. We had some stress go on, and I thought I'm going to share this with you now anyways, because you'll need to know why I'm not broadcasting next week. So my plan was not to broadcast next week anyways, because I am going on a camping trip with my 5th grader. Last year I went with my last year's 5th grader, who is now a 6th grader, to a conservation and nature camp up in central Minnesota. We had a great time, and so this time I'm going with my other son. And so I wasn't going to broadcast because we were coming back at like 3 o'clock on a Wednesday, and there'd be no way, right? Well, then my 6th grader, he decided to do some acrobatics in the garage on Sunday night, and he took a really hard fall on the cement floor, I think where the edge of the garage is, and he broke his kneecap. So we have had a very big change in our house for the past few days. I wanted to still broadcast today because I had this project ready to go anyways, but next week I will not be broadcasting, mainly because of that. He's going to have surgery on Tuesday, and of course we'll be very focused on him for a couple days afterwards, and I'm still going to go to the conservation nature camp with my son on Monday, and then I'll drive home Monday night to be with, I know, right, Linda, ouch. I'll be with my other son, my 6th grader, on Tuesday morning when he has his surgery. And hey, if he feels awesome after surgery, maybe I can head back to visit with my 5th grader and spend the rest of the time at the camp there. But I'm guessing I'm going to be staying home and being a nurse and a mom to my recovering son. So next week I won't be broadcasting for those 2 reasons. And the week after, though, will be May 9th. I will definitely want to come back. I have so many ideas to share. You guys, the ideas are in my head, but right now I can't actually produce them. In fact, I do a lot of paper pumpkin ideas and share a video every month, and I am not finding the time to even create with my kit, even though the ideas are in my head. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that, but I want you guys to know that I will be back, but we're just kind of taking a breather in our family. And anyways, okay, let's do the drawing. So thank you all for listening to my woes. I know, other people have it worse off. I know a lot of people have it worse off, but it's just been a hard adjustment for our family, and we will get out of this. It's just a phase. Let's go to the computer screen. Let me pull up let's see here. I might have to refresh it. Hang on. All right. So we are going to do our prize drawing. Yay! So if you have commented, even if you've just commented about the knee injury, then please know that you are entered into the drawing. I saw somebody, the comment has scrolled past me now, but someone asked if he's going to school. Oh, it was Pat. Yes, he is going to school. In fact, we had school off on Monday, and then he wanted to, he was ready to go back on Tuesday. So he only had like a 24-hour period of resting. He does have a immobilizer. It's not a cast, but it's like this big foam with metal in it through his legs, kind of, not through his legs, but around his legs. And he's got that on him. And so it's allowing him to keep his legs perfectly straight. But he's going to school with crutches right now. So here we go. Let's pick a winner. Who do we have? Our first winner is Cindy Keene. Yay! And good, she's from Maine. I have to mention that, because I forget to do this a lot, you guys, but you have to be somebody in the U.S. because I'm not supposed to do my Stampin' Up! Business with people that aren't in the U.S. I don't know. We'll figure it out if you get picked and you're not someone in the U.S. I can send you a card at least, right? Here we go. Let's pick another winner. So Cindy, congrats to you. If you did see yourself get drawn, make sure that you, there's Catherine. Make sure that you too will comment back, and let's get in touch with each other so I can get you your prizes. Thanks, Catherine Miller. Happy to see you again too. So thanks and congratulations to the 2 winners. Cindy, oh gosh, I didn't even share the prize, you guys. This is silly. Okay, here's the prize. Let me bring you back to the table. So the prize today is one person's going to get the Color Me Happy project kit, and Cindy, you get to pick because you were the first one drawn. You can either get this project kit, which coordinates with that stamp set, or if you're the other winner, then you get the markers that can bring you these fabulous colors. I only added 2 extra colors in here. I think it was the daffodil and the pumpkin pie, but the rest of these colors are all done with rose red, tempting turquoise, wild wasabi, and pink pirouette. So you'll get those 4 markers, and you'll also get the finished, I have to just finish it up, but you'll get the finished version of this card if you have the markers. So kit or markers and card, and yes, Cindy gets to pick, and then Catherine gets whatever's left over. But hopefully you like those prizes. And thank you. Oh, thank you for the prayers. Yes, if you can just send some positive thoughts and prayers my son's way and the doctor's way on Tuesday morning, we'd really appreciate it. We'll see you all in 2 weeks, and I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye.